welcome back to Rory's Workshop. Today we've got the toolbox on the trailer, we've got that 200 TDI on the trailer, and we're going to James's. David's there with his 200 TDI Discovery now, and he's putting it on the ramps for me. And then once I get there, it's going to be a matter of pulling out his 200 TDI with low oil pressure. And then obviously we're going to transfer a couple of bits over. The viscous fan needs to come across, the clutch needs to come across, and a couple odds and sods, and that bolt from the sump. There's a couple I want to change because I'm not too happy with them. And then we'll fit that engine. I've got all the gear that I need for like antifreeze and things like that, and I got that fancy funnel bleed kit with me. So we can give that another quick whirl. But I think that's about it. It's going to take us about half an hour to get to James's place, and probably about half an hour to get set up, get obviously unloaded, move stuff around. So yeah, I'll plod on and I'll catch up with you when I get there. See you in a sec. So I've made it to the workshop and the old Discovery is still here, but we've got Dave's Discovery to pull it out. I'm on my own for the moment. David just had to quickly nip home, so as soon as Dave's done that and come back, we'll pull this one out of the way, and then we'll get Dave's on the ramp and make a start. It's going to be a long couple of days, but worth it. So now we're in the workshop, all set up. The 200's on the lift. We've got the toolbox here, spare engines here, and now it's just a repeat of what I did a couple of episodes ago, really. But now I have a vague idea of what I'm doing. Vague. So now it's going to be drop the coolant, drop the oil, and then we're going to start on the ancillaries and just work our way through nice and steady. I'll set a time lapse up so you can see what's going on and you can laugh at this. But first things first, let's get this bonnet off. Back in a sec. Bit of a change. It's a lot lighter than what it was earlier. It's now practically totally disconnected. The only thing that's holding it in are the engine mounts and the bell housing bolts, hopefully. Fuel's all off, the electrics are all off, alternator's obviously out the way. Power steering pump is disconnected because I don't want to break into that and have oil everywhere. We've had some lunch and now I'm going to lift it up, take all the bell housing bolts out that we can, and then do the same as what we did earlier. Lift the engine, take the engine mounts out so we can lower the engine to get to the bolts, the top bolts. Should be fun because hopefully I'll try and remove all the bolts this time, and then hopefully pluck it out, clutch change and a couple of odds and sods and drop it back in, but I suspect that will be tomorrow. Let's start the time lapse. Oh, I've cut myself. Oh well.
I don't get your glove at me. I don't make a mess.
No.
Nice and clean.
I'll clear it with this red rag. Not bleeding then, am I?
We're ready for extraction then,
Right.
aren't
Yeah, give or take. We're going to whip it out. It's been a pain in the ass. There's one nut that's not going back on.
Because we've lost it.
We haven't filmed much because the air has been blue. Okay.
So was your shirt.
was a bit epic. But hey, two 200 TDIs. Is that a 400 TDI, maybe?
Yeah, I reckon.
So I'm going to pull this clutch off, because this clutch is not very old. Put it onto the replacement engine. David's just moving the...
Shiny bits.
Yes, the really nice new...
Nice.
And we've got the oil pressure gauge. We've got an accessory one fitted in the car, so we're going to take all that off, oil pressure sensor. And yeah, that's about it, I think. And then we'll whip these across, line everything up, get the clutch across, and then leave it for tonight. And I'll come back tomorrow to do the reverse. Hopefully it'll be
10 minutes.
okay. I don't think it'll be 10 minutes.
15.
Yeah, about that. 17 at a push. Right, I'll catch you in a minute. So, what a day. We managed to get the engine out, and actually it wasn't too bad. The only problem that we really had was that top bolt in the from the bell housing to the block, top nut even, and it's such a pain in the backside. What I tend to do is remove the engine mounts, and then we can drop the engine about an inch, and it is just enough to generally get a 17mm spanner onto, just to crack it. Once it's cracked, it generally comes off by hand. Well, it did, but for whatever reason, this car, it wouldn't happen. It didn't like it, so I ended up making a massive elephant gun, really, of just adapters and UJs and what have you, to try and reach. And I was by the handbrake, reaching right up in, and I had James and David putting me onto the nut, and when it let go, well, you can probably see the scratches on my arms, and I am up to the eyes driving the car, which I don't like doing, but hey. But once the nut had gone, James managed to then just finger the nut off, which is good. And then, as you probably saw in the video, the engine, we had a little bit of tension forwards on it, and that's using that JCB, the load oil, to get the engines out is such a great thing, because you can adjust the forward and back on the engine and the lean, and you can mechanically pull at it as well, and we had it just right to when James sort of lifted it up off of it was sat on the steering box and the engine mount. When it lifted it up, it just slid forward beautiful. We've transposed a couple of the bits. We've transposed the filter that goes on the side of the head, so that's been shipped across. The vacuum pump has been shipped across, because that's fairly new as well, and obviously I've taken off the clutch. So now I'm driving back home. We've managed to leave the toolbox and lock it all up and make it secure at James's, so it's easier for me to get up in the morning and just come down without having to go up to my workshop and get everything out and whatever. So meeting David tomorrow morning at 8, and I don't know, I might split these up into 2 episodes of pulling the other engine out to drop the next one in. If I do, thank you very much for watching. Do stay safe out there, and drop any comments, and don't forget to sort of like and subscribe if you're into this sort of thing. I'm quite busy over the next couple of weeks. I've got to move a car to Oxford. I've got to move an Oxford to Oxford. So, and I'm also going to see the drummer from Status Quo, who's managed to get hold of my number, and he's asked me to go and see him about his son. So that'll be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to that. And no doubt I'll keep you informed. But do stick around, and there's plenty going on. Yeah, oh, tractor's gone, good. Right, stay safe, take care, bye now.